Hello everyone. Well, the news is my wrist is coming along, and I'm able to get out and hike some. I'll tell you a little bit about more about it in a minute. And I'm going to be trying to get up all the videos from the hiking I've done. So hang on and I'll give you all the news. Everyone have a blessed day and get out and hike. Well, behind me you see a big 100-foot hill that I'm going to see if I can climb today. That's one of the things I'm out doing to get in shape. Well, as fortune would have it, the day I decided to come out and do this, they're mowing this field. But anyway, so the status on the wrist is that I'm allowed to hit tennis balls and I'm allowed to throw a football if I want to. Yay! But as far as being out hiking and having my right hand on my trekking pole, tripping and catching my full weight, the doctor, well, it was last week, 2 weeks ago, said about 8 more weeks. So I have at least 6 more weeks before it's safe for me to really be hiking. Now, I am in the process of getting back in shape and working out logistics. And I can tell you tentative plans, but that's all I have at this point is tentative. So what we're hoping to do is, well, to begin with, sit up, girlfriend. She's out of practice. Anyway, to begin with, G has kind of decided that, you know, he just really couldn't get himself motivated to push himself as hard as he has to even take a step on a hike and trail, and I fully understand that. So we talked about it, and we've decided that I'm going to go out there back on my own. And I've got a couple of friends who are, we're working out schedules for them to go with me. So that's the plan in the future. And my tentative plan is to go back and pick up what I missed, North Carolina and Tennessee. So when I'm able, that's where I'm going. In the meantime, I'm going to get ready as best I can. And what I've already been doing is moving boxes from our storage room, which we're attempting to clean out. And rather than hiring someone to do it, I'm doing it, carrying, you know, loading the van with the boxes and then carrying them up the 32 steps or so to where our home is. And so I've been doing that for a few weeks as my wrist would allow it and as my muscles would allow it. And so that's helping build up the upper body and the legs. And I go to physical therapy 2 times a week. I have an awesome therapist. She's actually an occupational therapist. They generally work with the upper body. And she is really working on the range of motion. So the challenge is that, what I've been told anyway, because this break was kind of long ways on the bone, and it's long ways on the bone and into the joint, called interarticulate, I believe, maybe. Anyway, the recovery time is slower, as opposed to if the break had been across the bone and not into the joint. So by the slower recovery, I think the biggest thing that means, it's not so much the strength issue as it is the range of motion. And you can't necessarily tell unless I put both hands up here, but this is as far as I can bend that, whereas my other hand I can totally put out in a 90-degree angle. And back this way, you know, we're measuring. She measures every time, and I'm gaining degrees, 5 degrees, 10 degrees, whatever, but I've still got a long way to go before I have full range of motion, and that is the slowest one. The fingers I've gotten back pretty well, and some other, like this one where you turn your hand this way and this way, I've gotten back almost all of that. And then as far as strength, it's, you know, just little by little coming along, but it's not just a matter of the wrist and the forearm, but the rest of my body, because, I mean, I was walking and doing stairs and things. Plan is to do more stairs, and yes, I'm going to carry my pack with 30 pounds on it this time before I end up going back hiking. And I'll turn you around and let you see this trail and tell you just a little bit more, and then we're going to show you day 64 of our hike, which was the day after I hiked under the Laurel Creek Bridge blowdown. Plan was to show you the video of those guys getting rid of that blowdown, but I had like 8 hours of video on that, and I'm still trying to make it so that I can get it short enough, but put the information in there that needs to be in there for anybody that might be interested in trail maintaining, that might learn from it, and not let it be so boring that all the rest of us would be falling asleep, or turning it off. So anyway, I'm in the process of still doing that and getting some statements from some of the guys that worked. So I'll put that up eventually. It's kind of timeless, so it doesn't matter so much when it gets put up, other than that I want to put up as soon as I can. But anyway, so that's the plan, and just hang on and watch this hike from the Laurel Creek Bridge blowdown area to Highway 52 in Virginia. All right, the day after we went under the Laurel Creek blowdown, and that evening we spent the night there at the trailhead. There was a campsite and there was water, and so we stayed there, and then that next morning listen to what happened. He's not going to do the intro today because he's busy fixing a flat tire, so we're heading out, and I will talk to you shortly. For the day of the hike, there was quite a lot of extra noise on the microphone, so I'm probably going to narrate most of this video. So G's van had a flat tire, and later he decided it probably happened, got a leak in it when he tried to climb that icy hill, or wet icy hill, and his tire spun so much that it probably just wore a hole in one. So sometimes I feel like I have a flat tire when I'm hiking this trail. What we had to do was, we had no service. Our Garmin's weren't picking up because they were blocked by the mountain. The mountains were on the south side of us, blocking the access to wherever the satellites are. So it wasn't an emergency, so we're only maybe 2 miles from the main road, plenty close for AAA to come out there and help us, so it was just a matter of getting a hold of them. So lickety-split took off, lickety-split, and then I took off, walking up the hill there to get up high enough to get service. As soon as I picked up Garmin service, I texted our buddy Steve to see if he would contact AAA for us. And then not long after that, I had phone service, so I called him. And as it turned out, not surprisingly, he was, as he put it, riding in on his white horse. So, all right, our buddy Steve got the message and from our Garmin, and then I actually ended up with phone service, so I was able to call him. And he is riding in on his white horse with his everything that's needed, and going to help G get the tire fixed and get it back on the van, most likely. And so all that's taken care of, nothing else I can do to help him. So let's enjoy this day. Look at that sun. Sky's getting blue, more and more blue, and we're headed up this hill. So the first 1.5 miles up was about 800 feet, and the trail itself was really pretty nice. Not a lot of rocks, roots, or anything. So that was very enjoyable. Don't have a lot of view through the trees here, but let's see. Yes, sirree. Got your Appalachian Trail day sky with a bright, beautiful sun. And very nearly a walk in the woods trail. For a beautiful day walking through the forest, and we're about to be on a ledge here in just a little bit. It'll take us over to Highway 52, that is basically the Bland trailhead. On the ledge walk. Love it up here. I really enjoyed this walk when we were here last season. There's a gravel road, really, just kind of right up there. pretty much parallels this, and the trail used to be on the gravel road. Story goes there's lots of hunters that live in this area, and some folks felt like young girls would be safer out here on this trail than they would be walking on a gravel road with a bunch of people in pickup trucks going up and down. So they put this in back just a few years back, I believe. I like it down here just because you got such a good view. So good for you guys, Path. I believe this is still the Piedmont Appalachian Trail Hikers group. So I was eating a protein bar and kind of had my head down and actually missed the turnoff to come to the left, and went a little ways up that hill and heard someone holler behind me, "I think you missed the turn." So shout out to Gosh. Thank you for steering me in the right direction. I'm having a wonderful time. Look at this. Perfect timing. Right at the end of a sentence. Don't you love it when that happens? Well, I just came around this corner. I was up there on the ledge, and I guess I was on the windward side. Came around the corner, I'm on the leeward side now. And the sun is right up above me. There it is. And the temperature just went up about 15 to 20 degrees. And I feel the sun. Up there on the ledge, I felt the wind and the cold. And I was on the verge of discomfort, but fine. It felt good. And my fingers are fairly chilly, but nothing like they were this morning. Anyway, now I'm around this corner, and I got this very, very slight breeze and this wonderful warm sun warming me up. All right, let's get to work. Get ready to turn right, but before we do, take a look at this. Right to left. So I just spoke to Steve, and he said that the van is fixed. They got the tire. They were able to put enough air in it there at the trailhead for G to drive on into Bland. So they drove into Bland, and the guy stopped what he was doing, he said, and fixed his tire. And so they've just been hanging out, visiting. And I guess G will be driving up here towards the outpost, and I guess we'll go from there. Gonna probably have something to eat there, and then we're gonna head on into the Walker Motel and spend the rest of today and tomorrow. As for now, I'm just gonna enjoy this. Trail is great, temperature is great, life is great. We're having a great time. This is our view. All the way along this ledge. And we love hiking. So, let's keep going. Hard to think about anything but how beautiful it is out here today. Just enjoying. So I've decided that some hikers think about point A to point B, and that's fine. I'm about what's between point A and point B. And that's the focus of my hike. What's between point A and point B. Every day. hoping to get to where I can do enough miles, you know, in a day that I can actually make it the whole way. But sometimes it's views, sometimes it's just vines. A little branch you've got to step over. Don't trip. Looking up a steep incline with the sun coming down on you. Fortunately, we're not climbing that. Just watching the trail in front of you. How cool it looks, just going and winding through the trees. Trees with no leaves on them. Trees that do have leaves on them. Roots coming up in the dirt. Wondering where all the animals are. Even the multicolored leaves on the ground with little green ferns coming up between them and green moss coming up. And as Lickety Split pointed out to me, the different kinds of moss that I hadn't really noticed. So a vine just hanging down there. I mean, and then now we're coming into, we just turn a corner and all of a sudden there's all these pine needles up here all over the trail. Hopefully there's not too many rocks under them, because if there's not too many rocks under them, as I've said before, the pine needle trail is the cushiony trail when they're on dirt, and it's the easiest on my feet anyway, and G loves them. Anyway, what's between point A and point B? Look the way there must be water that runs out under these trees when there's heavy rains. Everything's pretty much dried up now. Still a little bit damp under, but not very. Anyway, that's the kind of things that are between point A and point B today. When you're doing video and even video logging, I mean, you just got to kind of do what you like, and there might be some other people out there that like to watch it, and if they do, great. But if they don't, you've got a record, a video record of your trip, of what you wanted to see and what you wanted to do. Now that is invaluable. And this pine needle trail has been great here for a few minutes. There are some pebbles under it, which is good. They need it on this trail, but look, I don't know where that one went, but anyway, it's very soft. Very comfortable trail right now. Is it possible we're having a day with no rocks? I'm almost afraid to say that out loud. We spent a lot of time this day on ledge walking, and they were pretty nice trails. Almost walk in the wood trails, and a lot of sun glistening through the trees. It was really just a beautiful day. So as far as from my standpoint, no complaints. And since I knew G was being taken care of by Steve, I didn't have to worry about anything. Lickety Split had gone on ahead and was probably already sitting at the Brushy Mountain Outpost at Highway 52 having a hamburger or something. So I was able to just really enjoy the day. So we got a level 1 trail going on here. Level 0 would be what I call the Walk in the Woods trail. I think you can hang a hammock right there. Wouldn't that be cool if the weather's right? All right, the trail comes up to Wyrick Road. This road basically goes back to the right, back to, well, the road we stopped on, Suda Road, I believe, and parallels the AT some and then goes away from the AT some. And then we have a half mile this way to Highway 52 on the road. And the roof that you see right there is the roof of the store. Got a little carport there covered. Alright, so I'm here in the Brushy Mountain Outpost. See if I can get you their menu up there. Got a great kitchen back there. Wonderful cook. And got all kinds of things for hikers here. All the kind of stuff y'all like. For, I don't know if you call it a full resupply, partial. Got some bags, small things there, things you might need. Definitely want to know where you can find that. And pretty well sums it up. Food is good. Food is great, actually. And the hours are
8 to 6 Monday through Friday, 7 to 2 on a Saturday.
All right, well that's the end of day 64, and we did take 2 zeros at Walker Motel after that, so the next video coming up will be day 67. I want to thank y'all that are sticking with us. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you'll hang in there with us till we get back on the trail. This is what I get to enjoy out here on the Cherokee Park Trail in just a half mile from where we live, so I can walk over here or drive the car or whatever. But anyway, we'll be out walking on this quite a bit and doing those other things I told you about. So everybody hang in there, have a blessed day, and get out and hike.